Holy moly. What the... If I had known that something big like this would happen in that episode, then I would have filmed the reactions video, because it was like... I almost don't know how to describe it. And with that, welcome to a new video. Not sure if I should still call it a Hints and Theories video, because Philip is the mole. Or better said, he was the mole, because now we have a new mole. And, well, this is like a totally new game somehow then. And yeah, in this video we will talk about, well, what happened in that episode, about my reaction, about what I think about it, and I hope that you will also let me know what you think about it. We will talk about a very interesting article on the WIDM website, because in that article we get to know some things from Jill and from Philip. We will also talk about the mole actions Philip did, at least those which we know about already, and last but not least, well, talk a bit about who could be the new mole. But yeah, this is of course something, well, very speculative at this point. So I have to say that while watching that episode, there were some things that caught my attention, and the first thing was that Philip did not look good. And that of course also has to do with the fact that he did not get much sleep anymore, which is something we will talk about a bit more in a minute. The second thing is that of course we already started with a mole briefing, and that there was another mole briefing after that bike task, and I thought during those briefings they talked about a band, so probably could be translated as a ribbon. And I thought that actually was a direct hint to Philip. So I really thought about, wait, that somehow is really the connection to Philip. And the third thing that caught my attention was during that decoration task he did together with Anke, he directly looked into the camera. And usually we do not get to see such shots, only in the last episode when they show us, well, all the moments the mole looked directly into the camera and winked or so, and he just looked into that camera, almost a bit helpless I would say, and shrugged. So those things were a bit weird to me while watching the episode, and I would have talked about them in a normal Hints and Theories video, definitely. But yeah, then it got clear that something happened with Philip, and honestly, really no joke, I sat on my sofa and I was like, I know he's the mole. And then I was like, oh no, maybe they're just tricking us and something else happened and it's, well, just another reason why he has to leave. And then, yeah, it's just, it was so many, there were so many emotions, honestly, really. I was like shocked, surprised. I was also very impressed that he was, well, brave enough to take that decision. Of course I was also sad, like I had a tear in my eye when I saw the candidates' reaction, and in the end I think it was the right decision. I think it is very important and very good that they say your health, no matter if it is your mental health or your physical health, is more important than that game. Because this is what it is in the end. The mole is a game in the end, and your health is definitely more important than that. Still, it of course is, well, sad for him as well, and I really hope that he does not regret it, but I think at that point it was the best decision. In that article I've already mentioned there are some things explained, and let's get to that sleeping point first, because during the first night, after that cactus and balloon game, Philip shared a room with Bert. And during his sleep he dreamed about that cactus and balloon task where they earned the money, and he talked in his sleep that they just earned money and that he failed, and Bert heard that, and he also said him that, do you know that you talked in your sleep? And it seems like that was like a turning point for Philip, because he was so afraid of, well, talking in his sleep again, especially because they also changed roommates during that whole season several times. He was so afraid that this would happen again that he started to bury his sleep anymore. So he also says that one time he even went to take a nap in the toilet room, because at that time he had a roommate who has a very light sleep, and he was so afraid that that person would hear something again, but he doesn't say which person it was. But of course, when you do not sleep much anymore, then you don't have your full energy anymore, and as a mole you have to be, well, you have to be there for 100%, you have to react so quickly, you have to take decisions so quickly. And he also said, you can be the best prepared mole, but there's something you can't control, and that is your sleep. And that, well, made him a bit insecure, I would say. We've also got to hear that during those mole briefings when he said like, they all are suspecting me now, and that other voice said, no, not at all. That of course is, well, was already a hint for us that the mole is insecure about his actions. And now of course it also makes sense why we got to see those mole briefings, because they were preparing us for that moment now in that episode. And I commented on my last video that I was a bit, well, not sure about those mole briefings, because on the one hand I think they are very interesting for us, but on the other hand I thought like, they are showing us the insecurities of the mole, why do they do that? It's not very nice somehow, I thought. But then now it makes sense, because they were trying to tell a story that now, well, those puzzle pieces now come together somehow. Also in that article, Jill tells that the team had a totally different opinion about, well, his actions in the first 2 episodes. They actually were very happy about what Philip did, and that he was doing his job brilliantly. They really thought he was such a good mole. And he also said that at some point all moles, also the strong moles, have like a moment of insecurity. But the team also recognized that in Philip's case it got worse than normally. And in the end, Philip said he was like in a tunnel vision himself, because he was really thinking that all of them suspected him and that he was doing a really, well, bad job. And then the team decided, and also Philip decided for himself, that it wouldn't work out anymore, and then they decided together that he should, well, reveal himself and they would choose a new mole. This is of course something we did not expect at all. There are even people out there who do not really believe it. They are thinking that this is part of the game this time, because they want to add like a double mole or so. Not sure if you've heard about it, but sometimes these theories about double moles come up again and again, and I agree that it could be a very interesting kind of thing. But in this special case, I do not believe that. I think this is all honest. This is the truth, that he really simply couldn't do it anymore because of health reasons, and I really hope he's doing better now, that he had some time to rest, to get over all of that, and that he, well, is taking it not too seriously, because in the end it is a game. Now off to the mole actions we know about, and I have to say that we caught some of them. Even though some of you doubted them, but we had some. So the first thing is that the theory about the mole wanting to be part of the whole way to the party was right. So during episode number 1, during task number 1, Philip was there the whole way to the game. So he was in that car together with Gretel, so they were also actually the first ones we got to see in action. And we also get to know in that article that he stole the roses from the cake. And they also let us know that he let the axe fall on purpose during that cooking task in episode number 2. So no wind involved in there. So we also had that one right. And Jill said that they were thinking that he did it really good actually, because he described it like Philip changed one domino and in the end that single little thing he did led to the thing that the whole task was ruined. Or let's say probably during that cooking task, it wasn't a whole task, but at least that one dessert was ruined thanks to him. I think this is the most important information taken out of that article. I will put a link for that also into the info box so that you can, well, check it out for yourself. And I'm really curious what you think about what happened there, that the mole was revealed. Please let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about your reaction to that, and I'm also very curious what you thought about it while watching it. And last but not least, in this video we have to start a new search for the mole. We have a new mole now, and I think we can't really take any big information out of that while choosing process. We also have to keep in mind that the team now had even more information about the candidates when choosing the mole than they had when they chose Philip, because they of course still have all the information about the tests they have to do in advance, and now they also saw how those candidates interact with each other and how they play those tasks. And now they had so many information about picking one of those candidates. Still, I think it is really a hard task for the new mole, simply because you have to change in the middle of that adventure. You have to change your whole way of playing it, and also it is very difficult to prepare that mole now, because all others will be like so alarmed and will watch out if any one of them will disappear for a longer time than usually. So they definitely won't have all the preparation Philip had, of course, and I'm really curious to hear about how they did that in the end. I really hope that they will tell us that in the last episode of this season. Now, who could be the mole now? I still think Uma would probably a nice one, but I could also imagine that Jens or Sven could be nice ones. I know that some of you also suspected them already, and now with the task to mole they would probably really do that. I'm also kind of glad that Bert said nah, I don't think I can do that, because I also do not really see him as a mole. And about Emmanuelle, I think she would love to do that, but after that water task, not sure if they would pick her. But then again, they know what tasks there will be, so probably she would fit better. It's really not easy to decide whom to take as the new mole, especially with that very unique situation, with the fact that they won't have much time to prepare him or her. So it really is a whole new game now, a whole new situation, and for us I think it is a very interesting new part of the season, and definitely, even though it has a sad reason of course, a very interesting thing to happen in that anniversary season. Now, if you don't want to miss any other hints and theories about the new mole, then don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram or join our Internationals Facebook group, and please let me know what you think about all of that, what your reaction was, what you think about his decision, what you think about the mole actions Philip did, and who do you think could be the new mole now. Let me know all of that in the comments, and even though the search for the mole is a little bit more complicated at the moment, until the next video I still wish you so much fun figuring out who the mole is. Bye!